SimCity 2013. By now, many of you should know what this game is, and, the shaky release and few bugs aside, many of you ask me the same question over and over and over again. What exactly is the size of this city? Now, you might go online, you might read up exact measurements, but it might still be difficult to actually visualize it. So you forward the question to me, what is this size? What does that size mean to me? Well, as you can see here is the size of the plot you are allotted in SimCity 2013. Reading on the forums, I think they don't intend to come out with any larger map sizes, that this is going to be it. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Always hope that I am, but rumor has it that this is going to be it. So the question is, what exactly is this size? Well, I'm going to take it upon myself to try to let you better visualize and answer the question for yourself on how large this is exactly. Alright, in an effort to answer the grand old question, how large is SimCity 2013? I have come back to SimCity 4, a game that many of you probably played prior to SimCity 2013. So it is a game that a lot of you have a nice frame of reference with. Here I am in the largest tile known to the game, as you can see, very, very large. And in this game, or in this city rather, I decided to create a section of land that I believe measures up to approximately the size of what we are given to use in SimCity 2013. So let's zoom in a little bit and go on up. Here we go. I do believe that if I am correct, the size of SimCity 2013 is roughly the size of this emptied out square right here. Now, as I mentioned previously, how I arrived at that particular measurement is I essentially went to, in SimCity 2013, I went to a medium-sized residential building. I found its approximate in SimCity 4, and then I spammed it back to back until I had a section that roughly took up the similar size as I saw in SimCity 2013. Now, to err on the side of caution, I didn't want to make it appear too small, so I also enlarged it a little bit beyond then, just to see if I could make certain that I'm getting as true a representation as possible. So there you go. I do believe that this empty space here is roughly about the size that we are given to work with in SimCity 2013. If I am at all incorrect, I would say it's maybe one square larger, but you definitely get about the sense. It's at most this large, essentially. At most. I think I'm pretty accurate with what I have, but at most it extends to about something like this. Where, as you can see, that is a significant difference from SimCity 4. So if you are in fact a veteran of SimCity 4, you are used to these rather large map sizes, therefore you can better understand the size that you will be working with in SimCity 2013 if you decide to play it, if you have not already. But maybe you have not played SimCity 2000... maybe you have not played SimCity 4. Maybe you've played another city building game. Alright, so maybe SimCity 4 was not your city builder of choice. Maybe you come from Cities XL, be it 2011, maybe, Platinum, whatever. Maybe this was the city building game that you came from when you decided, or are deciding, to go and hit up SimCity 2013. So now the question is, where in this landscape would SimCity 2013 fit? Because as you can see, we do have quite a bit of space here. in one of my normal cities. And in that normal city, there we go, you can see this happy little square. And that happy little square is roughly where SimCity 2013 would show up. This essentially is what it means to me. And as you can see here, you can see my count on the medium-sized residential buildings that I've clearly used to count out just how large the space available is. Now granted, it does look really, really small from, you know, up above, but if you zoom all the way in, it doesn't look quite as bad, you know. Looks a wee bit larger, which is good. There's certainly a lot of space here. You can have a lot of people in an area this size if you know, really, really stack them in. But again, I have to say that's about the size that you're going to be expecting in comparison. And once again, my measurements aren't exact. You are free to add up, I don't know, let's go ahead and say maybe an extra 5 buildings on either side to make your square. Either way, you should have a nice little idea of the size that SimCity 2013 is compared to a game that maybe you're coming from, such as Cities XL. But you know what? Maybe you do not come from Cities XL. Maybe you don't come from SimCity 4. Maybe you come from something completely different. So let's go and take another example of exactly what this size might mean to you, depending on what game you come from. Alright, now I got it. Maybe it wasn't SimCity 4 that you guys came from. Maybe it wasn't even Cities XL that you came from. Maybe Anno 2070 was a game that you played before you came to SimCity 2013. So now the question is, how do I visualize that? Because holy Christ, there's islands all over the place, and you know what? A lot of these aren't happily squared off, you know? Maybe this one is. Maybe I should have... I don't care, shut up. Maybe this one is. Maybe I probably should have used the measurement here, because this is really, really square. I used the measurement over here instead. A bit difficult to do. Again, you can see the units of measurements that I'm...
of war between neighbors registered.
Awesome. You can see the units of measurements that I used to kind of build this. And this is only half of the length, mind you. It's not just this, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to lie to you guys. This is only half, so you have to visualize, let's see, I would say about down to here, down to this peak. I can't build it, obviously, because it runs in the way. But if I were to draw a line down to here, and then over and up, this here would be the square that SimCity 2013 would be taking up on, or in rather, a game like Anno. I admit, I was surprised at that one. I thought it would take up the entire island. That wasn't quite the case, unfortunately. But, you know, again, still quite a lot of room. A lot of people who do play this game, you know, don't build cities as large as this one. They take up, you know, this much space and maybe a few other things over, like on an island for raw materials or something, so, you know, it's still pretty respectable space, going all the way down to here. But you know what? Darn it, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, again, maybe you did not come from Anno. Maybe you didn't come from SimCity. Maybe you didn't come from Cities XL. But you know what? I got this. I'll find which game you came from. Let's do yet another comparison. Alright, I got it. You haven't played a city building game since the 90s, right? Right? So you came to SimCity 2013 from Caesar 3. Now I got it. We're good. We're good. Now we're good. Now, fair warning, this is probably my most inaccurate representation yet, and I apologize for this. I'll even tell you what I did. I used the size of a Grand Insulae to be about the size of the apartment buildings that I was using in my previous measurements. So if a Grand Insulae takes up 3 squares, which, it does, and it's got, quite a few people in there, right? So it's about the same as a little bit of the width-wise of about an apartment, I feel. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But if that's the case, then if you put SimCity 2013 in Caesar 3, then it would go to about here and down to the edge of the map here. So essentially, it would be, if you can see on this mini-map, it would be, about that size, which is pretty large, because these maps are kinda huge, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I've never actually seen a city, I think, that used up even... Yeah, that used all of this up on a thing. So yeah, I think that would be about the size of it in Caesar. I'm sorry if this is really, really off. I just did the best I could. I think it's fairly close. I mean, these are only 2, right? Yeah, these are only 2. A Grand Insulae turns into 3. So I'm using 3 as the yeah, I think that's about right. I think that's about right. But maybe you've never played a city building game. Maybe you're coming to SimCity wondering how large the maps are. Look at all those people coming to build. That's funny. But maybe you're coming here not from a city building game. Maybe you're coming here from something else. So let's give you one last point of reference as to how large the SimCity 2013 maps are compared to maybe a game you're used to playing. Good luck guessing what this next one's going to be. Alright, so when I said that the Caesar 3 was the most inaccurate one that I've done yet, no. That one goes to StarCraft 2. Assuming that I'm going to be using barracks as my lovely measuring tool here. You go away. Barracks as my lovely measuring tool here. Then here on Antigua Shipyard, I think you can see about what we're working with here. I have to go over and down, right about through here. So it's about the size of, I would say it's... Wow, I'd say mineral depleted. Yeah, it's about the size of Antigua Shipyard. I think. I'm thinking that's about the size we're dealing with here. Again, I could be so wrong about this. Because, yeah, I have absolutely no idea what the measurements in this game are. We're mostly just, guessing. For the most part, I have to say. But, I like the time and effort I actually, put into trying to figure out what it would be in this particular game. So I'm gonna stay with it. I will stay with this. Though don't worry, I'm not actually doing this against a human player. This is just an AI. So don't worry, I'm not actually bad-mannering anyone here. But yeah, if I had to say, I think it would be about the size of this. But again, maybe I'm wrong. I like to think I have done this with some degree of accuracy, though. Anyone who has the time and willingness to do a more accurate representation, you can of course feel free to do so. I have never made this many barracks ever, I have to say. It was kind of a lot of fun regardless. I've never seen this many barracks before, for that matter. But yeah. Suffice it to say, I am rather pleased with this, so I hope I've given you somewhat of a better idea of what SimCity 2013 would be in your favorite games, the games that you've come from. And if I haven't named your favorite game here, well, I'm sorry, but that's the best I can do. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you have a little bit of a better idea of the map sizes of SimCity 2013. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. See you all next time.